how's everyone doing? We got some great news today, and then we got some bad news today. But first, the great news. It's a great day. It's a fantastic day for Motorcycle Club members' rights. The judge in the third phase of the Mongols trial has just ruled in favor of the Mongols Motorcycle Club. And this was released this afternoon by their lawyer. And the judge writes, the First Amendment and Eighth Amendment permanently prohibit the government's request to forfeit the rights associated with the collective symbols. Accordingly, the court denies the requested forfeiture of collective membership marks, meaning that the government is now probably going to appeal to the Ninth Circuit Court, and this is probably something that the Supreme Court is going to go all the way up to there, and it's probably going to have them to decide, because this is just a freaking, different kind of case where the government says they can seize trademark rights and all that kind of good stuff. But the press is freaking on fire right now. And this one coming out of Los Angeles, a federal judge in Santa Ana ruled Thursday that the government cannot seize the logos of the Motorcycle Club Nation, the Mongols, but may move to seize ammunition and weapons seized while pursuing a racketeering conviction it won in December. So I don't know if that means when it happened with Cabeas or whatever the hell it was, but it is what it is. U.S. District Judge David O'Carter cited the First and Eighth Amendments in his ruling on the forfeiture request following the racketeering convictions of the Motorcycle Club. Carter rejected a motion for a new trial and acquittal of the convictions. Both sides said an appeal is certain. So there is the government going and wasting the taxpayers' money. They are butthurt because they didn't win. They've been pursuing this for over 10 years. 10 years they've been pursuing this. How much more money are you going to let them spend a years? It's you going to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, paying your taxes. This is what the government thinks they deserve to use that for. Anyway, quote, "We are ecstatic that the Mongol Motorcycle Club defended the First Amendment," said Mongol Nation attorney Stephen Stubbs. You go, my man. You got it, Bowtie. The government clearly overreached. We all know that. They tried to ban symbolic speech. Judge Carter gave a wonderful ruling. That indeed he did. Actually, later on you'll hear how the bad news is, but don't have to do with this case, has to do with another case. But Mongols national president David came out. We're happy. It's a big weight off our shoulders. Stubbs said the government's attempt to seize control over its trademark images, such as the one of a ponytailed Genghis Khan type character aboard a motorcycle, was an effort to go after the holy grail of motorcycle clubs, which it was. To motorcycle enthusiasts, the patches they wear on their leather jackets, known as cuts are the most important thing, Stubbs said. Attorneys Joseph A. Yanni, who represented the club in trial, told reporters he wished Carter had ruled in their favor on acquittal and a new trial motion because it's deserved. Again, the only thing that the Mongols were convicted of was during Doc Cabeos' time with the club. The club will want to appeal that part of the ruling, Yanni and Stubbs said. "I'm not happy the club is labeled a criminal organization," Yanni said. Nobody is. Because to be a criminal organization, you think every single one of the members would be involved in criminal activity. And the government hasn't proven that every single club member's a criminal. Now, if you've seen a piece that came out on Insane Throttle yesterday, you would see that the state of California is now suing a newspaper because they got their hands on a list that the state's keeping secret. 12K is on this list as bad cops. They are actually keeping a list. 12,000 bad cops. One state, people. One state. What about the other 49? Think about it for a minute. Carter noted that the federal prosecutors have spent more than a decade seeking the club's memberships marks. Quote, why? It's beyond question that the government has legitimate interest in attacking the economic roots of a criminal organization like the Mongol Nation, Carter wrote. So, he put it in there that they were a criminal organization. But what does the United States accomplish by seizing control of property rights associated with a motorcycle club's associated symbols? Good question there, but again, you can see why they want to go back to court on this being labeled as a criminal organization stuff. Carter noted that prosecutors have argued in the past that the logos are used to strike fear into civilians and rival clubs. Quote, the government is not merely seeking forfeiture of the ship sales, Carter wrote. In this prosecution, the United States is attempting to use RICO to change the meaning of the ship's flag. While we're at it, we need to get rid of RICO, man. That was originally intended to go after La Costa Nostra, cartels, and stuff like that. But again, you give a tool to the government and they take it as far as they can with it. These are your rights, folks. That's why this is an important decision on the district level, because again, it's going to be going through appeals upon appeals, then of course to the Supreme Court, and by that time you're talking millions of dollars. So hashtag save that patch, man. Let's get involved in this. Let's get the word out there. Get on your representatives and get calling around, man. Tell them we don't want our taxpayer dollars wasted like this. Millions of dollars we are looking ahead that they're going to be spending on this. RICO is a federal law that provides for extended criminal penalties for acts performed as part of an ongoing criminal organization. Basically, it's a bullshit law. Prosecutors have argued that Carter, by law, must issue a seizure order before he can move to the next step of declaring it unconstitutional. Carter, however, disagrees. Of course the fucking prosecution wants that because they've been wanting that for years upon years, wasting people's money. You know what it is? This prosecutor, he probably wants a job like Raina did. He wants to get a job as a mayor or a governor. They want to move up the ladder. That's what these prosecutors do because they can't make it as criminal defense lawyers, so they got to go prosecution and go the other route because, they're the ones who wear them, god-awful suits and shit like that, and this is the only way they can move up in life is by picking on civilians, and these are your rights again, folks. Quote, this is not enough to remedy the chilling effect and forced transfer of a symbol to the United States government has on the Mongol Nation, its member, and society at large, Carter wrote. The government has not been forthright with this court and public regarding whether the United States can feasibly use the Mongols Nation collective membership marks or transfer the marks to a third party for their exclusive use. He just, you know what it is? He's spanking them motherfuckers. He's got them over the knee. He's spanking them. I love it. The judge added that the prosecutors have also made public threats regarding the government's intention to strip vests off of members' backs. Yeah, even he's not stupid to know if somebody tries to strip a patch that there's going to be other issues, if you will, come up. Most recently, a special agent in charge of the ATF Los Angeles Field Division stated the government has successfully seized a unity symbol. You know what they need to do with those? I ain't even going to go with the cops. Not going to go with them right now. Carter said that violates the First Amendment. He also cited the cruel and unusual punishment clause of the Eighth Amendment. The Mongol Nation is a convicted entity, and its members have pleaded guilty to heinous acts of murder, attempted murder, drug trafficking, and other crimes, Carter wrote. But in this case, the jury found that the government did not prove the nexus between the collective membership marks and the RICO offenses. The jury found The membership marks forfeitable as to RICO conspiracy alone. The forfeiture of the rights associated with the symbol that has been in continuous use by an organization since 1969 is unjustified and grossly disproportionate to the offense. To hold otherwise sets a dangerous precedent that enables the government to target the associative symbols of organizations it chooses to prosecute for RICO conspiracy. There you go. Even a judge says what I've been saying forever. If they don't like your organization, they can pin on you and go after you. The judge in this case just stated that fact in his opinion. Stubbs said it is nearly certain the case will ultimately be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court because of its novel constitutional issues and its potential for legal precedent. And that was the article coming out of LA on this case. So again, this is fantastic news, but there's a lot of fight ahead of us. A lot of fight, people. All the members, the supporters, the advocates. You can't lay down. You got to keep on fighting. Keep this in the press. Keep it going. Don't let the government overreach. Keep them in check. Too much and too many times are we letting the government just walk all over our rights in the name of security and plain and simple BS. It's time for it to stop. Time to hold these people accountable. And our next story, you're going to flip out like I did now. This story was the original topic for this program, but it's fitting in nice right now as the Mongols just won their patch case and the judge is talking about government overreach. And now we are going to go to this one and let's take a look at the video real quick.
Undercover Pittsburgh police officers involved in an incident at a local bar.
Ralph Ainati is live tonight to explain how the FBI came to that conclusion. Ralph.
Yeah, thanks very much, David. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Pittsburgh this afternoon released a single-paragraph statement following the FBI investigation into that brawl which was caught on surveillance video in a Southside bar. It involved members of the Pagans Motorcycle Club and undercover Pittsburgh police officers. Federal prosecutors say they've determined that no federal criminal charges will be filed against Pittsburgh police officers involved in the October 12th fight at Kobe's bar. The statement concluded that upon review of the FBI investigation of the violent confrontation, the U.S. Attorney's Office determined there was no basis for charging any officer with a federal crime. Strong reaction to that decision from Beth Bittinger of the Police Citizens Review Board. She said she was stunned by the Fed's decision not to pursue the investigation. She added there's a big difference between reasonable force, excessive force, and sadistic force. And she said it should be of concern to all of us that police officers can do what was seen in the video and then not be held publicly accountable. As far as state charges are concerned, District Attorney Stephen Zappala in November dropped charges against the 4 pagans filed by city police. Zappala said there wasn't enough evidence to go forward. At the same time, the DA's office noted it would put its investigation on the back burner until the feds made their decision. Now, a spokesman for the District Attorney says their office expects to have something to say about the case tomorrow. The Pittsburgh Office of Municipal Investigations is still looking into what happened that night. And of course, just yesterday we learned that a third member of the Pagans Motorcycle Club has now filed a lawsuit against the city. I'm Ralph Ainati.
There you go. The government has now decided that they are not going to prosecute the cops involved in that bar incident. And what I say to that prosecutor and the DA, you are the biggest coward, the biggest freaking coward that anybody has ever seen. This right here is the reason why people do not trust you and do not trust your government and don't trust anything that comes out of your mouths. It's because of stuff just like this. You had a chance to prove to the citizens of this country that you're fair, that there is equal justice under the law, and you chose not to. You chose to defend the boys in blue. You chose to toe that line. You are cowards. cowards. And what's even funnier is what I see on social media. Okay, you got half here, half there. Well, the cops did this, they're just pissed, club's just pissed off because they got their ass kicked, blah, blah, blah. My question to you fools that are going around saying this, okay? You fools that are putting this shit out there is, okay, cops, you're identified and shit like that. This cop identified himself, okay? Next thing you know, they're beating on your ass. What, you think that you're going to turn around and start throwing punches after somebody identified themselves as a cop? No, because next thing you know, not only are you getting charged for aggravated assault and battery and all kinds of other shit, now you're getting assault on a police officer. For those who say that bullshit, you are a bunch of twits. Okay, you're twits, because you know what? You don't even have the balls to fucking step up and say, you know what? This ain't right. What we seen in the video isn't right. What these cops did in this video was pure, simple, outrageous bullshit. And it's cowards. You know what? I know you cops watch and you know what? You like trolling the show. You're a bunch of cowards, okay? You're a bunch of twits, and you're worthless pieces of human waste. Okay? You're a piece of human waste. That's what I can say. You're cowards because you need a gun and a badge to have some fucking cojones. But without it, you got nothing. You're nobodies, okay? You walk around like, yeah, we're this, we that. You're nobodies, man. You probably got your ass kicked in high school, shoved in a locker, your fucking face put down in a freaking toilet bowl, and that's the reason why you think you can run around and do this, because now you got to get revenge. Now, guaranteed, if it was a fair fight in Kopi's bar, them cops would have got mopped up. Okay, but again, that's the same thing cops do. They reach for the badge. That's their shield. Okay, don't hurt me. I'm a police officer. You know, the same thing with these cops in clubs. And you wonder why a lot of people don't like cops in clubs, because that's the first thing they do. They want to walk around, oh, I'm a big bad biker, I'm a club member, all that good stuff. But when it comes down to defending the patch, I'm a cop. Don't do nothing to me. Come on here, buddy. Don't do it. That's what cops do. And this incident right now, and I'll go on to the article, because it does, we have that great news in the morning that just came out, and then we got this stuff. This is outrageous. Let's read one of the articles that came out, and they only put out a one paragraph response, but you'll hear that. The U.S. Attorney's Office on Wednesday announced it will not file charges against the undercover police officers involved in a brawl with members of the Pagans Motorcycle Club on the South Side, at a South Side bar last year. And you know what? It don't even mention the cops were freaking drinking on duty. The videos, everything, the bar owner testified that these guys were drinking upon drinking upon drinking. So I guess if you're a Pittsburgh freaking pig, you can drink on duty. So all you badges and all that stuff in Pittsburgh, it's all right for you to drink on duty. You don't have to be sober to do your job. That coming from your freaking FBI, or not FBI, but your district attorney on the federal level, that, hey, it don't matter. But anyway, let's keep on going. The FBI was investigating whether there were any civil rights violations by the officer. Let's see. Guys being cuffed and booted and giving dotted eyes and pulling on hair, reaching around on the camera, that ain't a civil rights violation. Now, it is funny because, a good friend of mine, and everybody knows him, BD, he says that if you want to know what it's like to be black, put a patch on your back. I think that rhymes BD, and I think that's hilarious right there. You're right on the freaking money. So, if you want to know how black folk feel, put a patch on your back. And that's how you'll know how they feel, because that's what they go through all the time with these freaking cops, okay? Because these cops think they can run around, do their thing. And well, they're a bunch of cowards. Again, without the shield, without the gun, you're cowards. You're lowlives. And you know what? It's funny. You talk about clubs being criminals and stuff like that. Again, let's swing it around right to that news story out there. 12,000 of you pigs, 12,000 of you hypocritical idiots were freaking labeled as bad freaking cops, okay? Guarantee the number is skyrocketed all around. In California alone, your buddies have more freaking charges than any 1% or any club member have. And you run around here like you're, I'm all this, I'm all that. Yeah, right, you freaking idiots. Let's see here. The brawl happened early October 12th at Kopi's Bar and ended with 4 members of the Pagans in jail. Yeah, in jail. They went to jail, but not these idiots. The DA withdrew the charges against the clubs and held off investigating the officers until federal authorities concluded their investigation. The city's Office of Municipal Investigations and the city's Police Review Board are also investigating. Well, maybe something will be done, but you know what? I think because it was the Pagans involved, how much you wanna bet that nothing's gonna be done? Yeah, there's a bunch of outrage and stuff like that, but nothing's gonna happen to these pigs. They're gonna be right back on the street doing this to ordinary citizens and shit. Hey, maybe they'll get ran off the road. Who knows? I don't know. Quote, I'm sure there is more to learn about it, but my initial response is that it should concern every one of us. Every one of us. And you know what? She is spot on in this argument here. Adding that she felt the officers involved weren't justified to use force against the members of the motorcycle club. The officers escalated the situation. They initiated it and escalated it. The city's Office of Municipal Investigations is continuing its investigation. Pittsburgh Department of Public Safety has no comment on the decision by the U.S. Attorney's Office. The spokesman said an internal investigation continues and the department won't discuss ongoing investigations. Of course you guys won't. Of course you won't, because you're too busy burying it. That's what you guys are doing right now. The decision by the attorney's office comes a day after a federal civil lawsuit was filed against the city, the 4 officers involved, and the police union on behalf of Michael I can't even say his last name. Whatever, I couldn't even, whatever. Filed by attorney Wendy Williams, essentially caused the police an organized crime enterprise. Come on, everybody clap. You know it's true. You know it's true. Let's see here. And alleges the city and officers violated the RICO Act, a federal law meant to target organized crime participants. I love it. They're turning it around on the cops. 2 of the 3 men involved in the brawl also filed lawsuits, and this came out of Pittsburgh. But it's time to get involved, everybody. Get involved in this suit. And you know why this is important? Under everything going on right now, there was something that came out of the House of Representatives yesterday, and it was this. Take a listen, and I'm going to tell you why it means everything to us as bikers. So let's take a listen, shall we?
The bipartisan bill that would require all gun sellers to conduct background checks on firearm sales in a 240 to 190 vote on Wednesday. While the bill, spearheaded by Representatives Mike Thompson and Pete King, had 5 Republican co-sponsors, it passed largely along party lines, with just 8 GOP lawmakers voting in favor of the measure. 2 Democrats opted to vote against it. The bill was amended at the 11th hour after Democrats failed to win enough votes against a Republican-backed motion to recommit that would require U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to be notified when illegal immigrants attempt to purchase a firearm.
You get that last part? The Democrats didn't want to wear ICE and all that stuff. We're notified if an illegal immigrant is purchasing a firearm. Do you notice how them freaking commie left bastards cannot stand this country? They can't stand it. They cannot stand United States citizens. They don't represent you people. You Democrats, this is not the Democratic Party of Kennedy. I almost said Lincoln, but no. Kennedy and Roosevelt like you think it is. That party is gone. It's dead. It's buried. These people don't care. Now, why is it important to us as bikers? The government right now has, judges ruled that they tried overstepping our First and Eighth Amendment rights. Now, going after our Second Amendment rights, now what's that used for? Our Second Amendment rights is used and was put into the Constitution, regardless of what every lefty out there says, was there to fight back against a tyrannical government. That's what it was there for. Plain and simple. Okay, what I do wish is the Supreme Court will once and for all rule that it is a God-given right that you have the right to truly bear arms. None of this, you got to do this, none of you got to do this. No, you have a right to bear arms in this country to keep this government in check. That's why you got the right to bear arms. And again, look at what's going on, not only in the biker community, but the minority community. They're getting their asses kicked too. And this is by law enforcement officers. It's legal ass whoopings, as I call it. A legal ass whooping. Nothing ever happens to them. And when it does, it's only because people get out there and say, enough is enough. Get in the streets and do something about it. If you don't get involved, it's never going to change. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Look at what these people are trying to do to a president of the United States. Here he is trying to freaking accomplish something at a summit that none of these idiots, Democrat or Republican, before him have ever done with North Korea. And here they're bringing on a freaking moron, a clown, and a freaking known liar. You know what? Those of us who've been on the streets can look at this guy and tell he's bullshitting. But no, the Democrats bring him up, try to embarrass a president of the United States, have no freaking disdain or freaking common sense that we're trying to solve something that's been affecting this country for over 70 freaking years. No, they want to play their dog and pony show with a known liar. That is the government right now. And Democrat, Republican, whatever, start understanding what your government's doing to you people. You gotta get involved, man, before it's too late. If it ain't for you, do it for your kids. Your grandkids, stand up and fight. This country's what, since 1776 to now, a little over 200 and something odd years old. The Roman Empire fell, and it fell for shit like this, and we're based on a lot of that republic. We are a republic, not a democracy. If you know what a true democracy is, you fucking fly. You get the hell out of there. But anyway, we're based on that kind of system. And it's a known fact throughout history, and you can actually look it up, that the big civilizations, their average being around is like 300-400 years. So if you want the United States to continue as we know it, you better get out there and start fighting for your rights. You better start putting these cops in check. You better start putting these government officials in check, because if you don't, we don't have a country anymore, and you won't have your rights. Okay, none of us grew up during the time of World War II. Could you imagine what them people went through during World War II? They were pulling them off the fucking street, shooting them in the freaking head. Why? Because they took their guns away, for one. They don't need guns. Well, next thing you know, you're getting shot in the head. Because, you gave your rights up for propaganda or security and stuff like that. So get in the fight. But that is real good news today. The second half sucked because these cops deserve to be thrown in freaking jail, butt raped, and taken advantage of in the prison system. They really deserve this one. But hopefully with calls and people getting outraged out there, maybe it'll help. But my guess is that it's going to go through one ear and out the other, because if the biker community stuck together, we could probably have 50,000 bikes in a heartbeat doing a protest, but we haven't. We need to start doing that. You know, make fun of when, make fun of Black Lives Matter and all that shit you want, but at least they organize. At least they hit the streets and they do something about what's going on. Bikers, we need to pull together, man. We need to, you know what, sad to say, take a little example from these liberal groups and learn how to organize and make a freaking dent and make a point to these people, because if we don't, it's just going to keep on going on. But with that, I appreciate you guys joining the show. Again, that's awesome with what happened with the Mongols, but we still have a big, huge fight ahead of us, so get ready for it. Hashtag save the patch. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching Motorcycle Madhouse Live. We're on Monday through Friday from 7 to 7:30. Check out some of these videos of our archives. Get to know us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all your support. We'll see you next time.